We had a good workout on Monday in class. Finding our comfortable seated position and just relaxing our eyes, relaxing our mind. Let's start to release all of our stress from the week. Continuing your deep breaths, keeping this time for yourself. But this time I want you to sit a little bit taller. Pull your chest through your shoulders. I'm struggling speaking today. As if you're Superman or Superwoman. Pull those shoulders back. Lift your chin tall. Think of one thing that you love about yourself. All right, go ahead and take your time to open your eyes here. And I'm going to make you a little uncomfortable and have you switch your leading leg. So it's going to be the awkward one on top now. And we're just going to reach those hands forward. As you reach forward, I want you to avoid letting your hips come off the floor. You can put your hips on a pillow for a little more support if you'd like. And walking those hands over to one side. So again, your awkward foot is up in this crisscross position. And taking those hands over to the other side. Let's go ahead and bring those hands back to center and walk your hands up. All right, so if you're against a wall, go ahead and pull yourself back. Awkward foot is still up. If you're not against the wall, don't worry about it. You can just stay where you're at and sit tall. If you do have a wall behind you, go ahead and sit there and bring those arms up. I've been doing so many Fusionetics tests, and I recognize the need for this shoulder movement. So our shoulders are at 90 degrees, our elbows are at 90 degrees, and our shoulders are relaxed. We're going to start by just bringing those arms up. I want you to think, can you do this movement without letting your back excessively extend away from the wall? Maybe you're just going halfway. I don't want you to feel discouraged. This only gives us something that we can work towards. It's always good to have a goal. Find those weak areas. All right, this next one's going to feel a little more awkward. So you're going to bring those hands in. What I want you to avoid is letting your shoulders roll forward, especially if you're not against a wall. It's really easy to do that. Bring those hands, palms facing in towards the wall, not letting those shoulders move. All right, go ahead and shake it out. We're going to stay at that wall. If you have one, if you don't, again, don't worry about it. Don't worry too much. You can just stay where you're at, or you can move to a wall if you really want to. This next one, I want you to keep that back against the wall and see how far you can go with that arm as close to your ear as you can without letting that back hyperextend or move away from the wall. You might be over here. What I want you to avoid doing is cheating and bringing that arm out here. Let's try to get that arm by your ear. And then let's switch over to the other side. If you're able to do both sides, can you do both at the same time? Very good, everyone. Roll out those shoulders. A little bit of shoulder assessment today, self-shoulder assessment. Go ahead and add some movement into your neck. You can move away from the wall. We're going to shift into our child's pose here in a second. Like I said, I've been doing quite a few Fusionetics movement assessments. And I've noticed our shoulders need a little more work. Let's go ahead and sit back into child's pose. If that flexion or that overhead shoulder movement was difficult, I really want you to bring those hands forward and press your head through your shoulders here. If you don't know what I mean with the Fusionetics assessment, feel free to reach out to me individually. Or if you are not from Corvallis, reach out to your program manager. I swear that wasn't meant to be a marketing scheme. I promise it's a free assessment anyway. Shift forward and drop your hips, open up into that cobra. Maybe you want to start on those forearms, that's okay. Whichever position you choose, I want you to avoid that turtle. Push out of that turtle shell, open up. Remember your Superman, Superwoman, open chest here. Exhale, elbows close to your body as you release. Let's shift up into tabletops, back into that child's pose. Really focus on pressing your head through your shoulders here. You want to take this a little bit further, raise your hands off the floor. From here, let's shift into that tabletops position and start to add some movement here. We're going to start with side to side hip swings, like you're drawing a C with your hips, doing a side crunch. Kind of loosen that lower back a little bit. Bringing those hips back to center, and let's allow our hips to shift forward and backwards for that cat-cow. Exhale as you tuck and round. Inhale as you lift and open. Let's exaggerate that movement through the shoulders on this one. Really push away from the floor. Feel that back open, almost as if it's spreading apart. If I focus a lot on the back here, it's only because I know my back gets tight. So I figure I'm not the only one. All right, as you complete this last exhale, relax into neutral before sitting into child's pose. Give those wrists a little, or sorry, your shoulders a little bit of a break, your wrists as well. Inhale, let's take that shift forward. Tuck our toes under. Let's get into that downward dog position. Press your head through your shoulders. Maybe you want to walk through those toes or those heels. Maybe you want to wag your tail a little bit. Or maybe you want to just hold this position. I know it's hard, but I need you to continue breathing through this position. Let's take our gaze forward and slowly step those feet forward. We're going to hold this forward fold, not for very long. Slight bend through the knees. Let's take it into standing. Like always, head is last to come up. And let's bring those arms overhead. I want your eyes or your gaze to follow those fingertips. Exhale, arms to side. Again, bring those arms overhead, gaze follow, maybe bringing your hand slightly behind you. Bringing it back to center before exhaling down to your side. Let's do one more. Inhale, big breath in, eyes follow, maybe reaching slightly behind you. Lift it back to center. This time as you exhale, push those hips back, forward fold. Remember, eyes are looking through your legs. With your hands on the floor, we're going to step back with our left foot. Right foot's going to stay forward for our runner's lunge. Take a peek. Is that heel parallel with your front foot? Are your feet in line with your hips? So rather than one being in front of the other. Just holding this runner's lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, release that back knee. I tricked you there. Let's go ahead and extend that front leg. Bring those hips back. Toes up to your shin to start. We're going to bring those toes down here in a second. Go ahead and bring those toes down towards the floor. So you should feel it in that front of that ankle. Slowly shift that weight forward. We're going to bring that toe, tuck that toe under, bring that knee off the floor. This time we're going to take those hands away as we lift into standing or our high lunge. I want you to keep in mind those hips are rolled under. to protect our lower back here. As we open up into Warrior Two, go ahead and allow your heel to follow your hips. Take a peek, is that front knee caving in, or are you staying strong, keeping it stacked over your ankle? Go ahead and inhale, extend your arms and that front leg. Exhale, reach back with your left arm. Right arm either stays up or maybe reaches slightly behind you. Inhale, windmill down to your leg into triangle. Maybe you need to bring your hand onto a yoga block or on your leg. Maybe you're down to the floor. Whichever position you choose or you decide, make sure your chest stays open. We're going to tuck that knee into our shoulder, shifting our weight into that extended angle. From here, you can stay here. You can modify by bringing your elbow over to your knee. Or if you want to take it further with me, since we got those shoulders nice and warm, let's reach that top hand behind our back. That bottom arm tucks under your thigh, connecting those hands behind you. Again, you're welcome to just hold that extended angle. Gently releasing those hands if they are not already. As we place that left hand to the floor, we're going to lift and rotate our heel back into that runner's lunge. Let's step back into plank. I'm going to have you hold this for a second, not super long. Enough to feel that shoulder burn. Gently release those knees and sit back into child's pose. Take advantage of this break because we are going to do that on the other side here in a second. All right, let's bring those hands far out in front of you. And shift your weights into tabletops. Let's bring those knees up and hips back into that downward dog position and just hold here. Really take note. Are you favoring one side of your body? Are you favoring your heels? Are you favoring your hands? Or is your weight distributed equally on all four? Take a moment, kind of feel it out a little bit. And on your next inhale, let's bring your gaze towards your hands and step your feet forward. Slight bend through the knees as we roll into standing. Head always last to come up. Big breath in. Eyes follow those fingertips. Exhale, arms to your sides. Inhale, eyes come forward or eyes come up to follow your fingertips, maybe slightly behind you. Inhale, lift, exhale to your side. We have that one more time. Inhale, big lift up, maybe slightly behind you. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold. This time, left foot stays forward, right foot steps back into runner's lunge. On your exhale, release that knee behind you. Let's go ahead and extend that front leg. Bring your toes up towards your shin. Let's bring that stretch to the front of our ankle. Bring those toes down towards the floor. Shifting our weight forward. Tucking our toes under behind us so that we can lift back into that runner's lunge. We're going to take those hands away as we lift into high lunge. Remember, those hips are tucked under. As we open into Warrior Two, go ahead and allow those heels to follow your hips. Again, take a peek at that knee. Is it caving in, or are you staying strong with those glutes? Inhale, go ahead and lift and extend. Exhale, drop that right arm down. Left arm either stays up or reaches slightly behind you. Inhale, go ahead and windmill all the way down into triangle, making adjustments as needed. Tucking that knee into your shoulder, for that extended angle, remember you have the option to bring that elbow up to your thigh, where you can stay hand on the floor. Let's go ahead and take that to level 3 if you are up for the challenge. Hand behind your back, other hand reaches under your thigh to connect hands here. Extended angle is still difficult, so don't feel like you're cheating if you stay in extended angle. You just chose a different option. Gently release, hands open. Exhale as you bring that hand down to the floor. Remember to lift and rotate your heel behind you. Step back into plank. I'm not going to make you hold it very long, but I am going to make you hold it. Gently release your knees and sit back into child's pose. Way to go, everyone. Let's take those hands below our shoulders, use them to press ourselves up. Bring those feet out in front of us. We're going to release down to the floor. Let's get a good glute stretch, starting with our figure 4. I'll let you pick which side you want to start with. Opening up the inside of your ankle and thigh or knee. And hugging from either under your thigh or from your shin. Breathe into this stretch. As you exhale, try to release that tension. I know it's hard to do, especially if you're tight. Gently release that foot to the ground. Uncross your legs, shake it out. All right, let's get those glutes on the other side. Open up the inside of your thigh. And hug from either your thigh or from your shin. Gently release that foot down to the floor. Uncross your legs, shake it out. Let's bring one knee into our chest, extend the other leg. We're just going to open that leg out to the side. So you have the choice to keep that knee bent, or if you want to extend that leg before opening it out to the side, feel free to do so as long as your hips and shoulders don't come off the floor. Let's bring that leg back to center. Tuck that knee into your chest if you need to. Go ahead and switch sides. Opening that knee out to the side, whether your leg is extended or that knee is bent. Before we go into our ending meditation, if you are watching the replay, please go ahead and like this on the Teams page or on the YouTube channel, just so that I can get a head count of how many of you are watching these replays. Before you leave me, bring that leg back to center. Tuck that knee into your chest. Place that foot on the floor and allow that leg to open up out in front of you. Bring those hands to either side of your body. Palms are facing up. Pull those shoulders down and away from your ears. Relax your eyes. Relax your jaw and your forehead. Notice by relaxing your face or the muscles in your face, the rest of your body starts to follow. Feeling your body getting heavier with each exhale. Let's slowly start to bring awareness back into our breath. Not adding any movement besides maybe exaggerating the movement in your chest and belly as you breathe. If you want to start adding movement into those fingers and toes, go ahead and start with small movements. Maybe bringing that movement through to your head and your neck, rocking side to side. Bringing your head to center and sliding those feet flat to the floor. Bringing those arms overhead, lengthen through the spine. And roll over to one side. Take your time to open your eyes here. And when you're ready, slowly make your way back to that comfortable seated position we started in. Go ahead and add some lateral movement into that neck. Excuse me. Bringing that head back to center and finishing with our deep breaths. Exhale, arms to your sides. 2 more deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time. Let's bring those hands into prayer. Exhale, hands to heart. And namaste. Again, if you are watching the replay or if you've watched a replay in the past, please just add a little thumbs up or like button so I know you've watched it. Helps me with my reporting. Also gives me a head count of how many of you are utilizing the replays. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your hump day, and I will see you all on Monday. If I don't see you before then, have a great day.